another episode of Tea Time with Mr. D. I am Mr. D, the broadcast and choir teacher here. And of course, I'm joined by my fantastic crew that is in no way insane today, led by Sophia. Sophia, how's it going in there?
Yeah, we're doing great.
Looks like you're doing great. Hey, who's with you today?
Okay. I have a cheeseburger. Okay. So, it's Zoe, Verity, Hunter, and Jaden Eugene Franklin McAllister.
I'm Hunter.
Great to see you guys again today. Hey, Sophia, I have to ask, how do you think last episode from like 2 years ago went? How did you feel about that one?
Yeah, except for like the long delay, expanse of time in between them. Miss Cardi episode was really good. Love Miss Cardi. She's like my favorite teacher. It was amazing. It was so great. I loved it.
Great. It was great. You loved it, all that stuff. All right, I want to take a poll here. How many of you know our guest today, Miss Mecklenburg? How many of you know who she is? Like, raise your hand over there in the studio.
Raise your hand if you know her.
All right, so there's some of you who don't. There's some of you who do.
I went to London with her, and she was super nice, and I love her.
That's right. You went to London, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about traveling and stuff like that, and some other fun things. Here's the deal. Here's why I like doing this show is because there's some teachers and people here who I don't actually know that well. Miss Mecklenburg's one of them, but I'm pretty sure we could be best friends, and so we're gonna see that in this time. Hey, we have to ask? I have to ask Sophia because she's one of our #1 fans. What did your mom think of the episode last time?
I think she thought it was good. She liked the reading stuff because she likes books.
Did she like the part where we mentioned her? That's the part I'm wondering about.
So yeah, I think she liked it. She was a little embarrassed, but she was like, "Yeah, it's true."
So is she going to like the fact that we're bringing her up again? That's my.
She'll probably kind of be a little. Anyway, also, do you know my grandma watches like Aldi's all the time, and she like probably comments and likes like every single video.
Really? What's your grandma's name?
Margaret Ann Hess.
Okay, you didn't need to say her full name. All right, but well, shout out to Margaret. All right, shout out to Margaret. This is a great moment.
Can you also shout out my aunt's cousin's brother? He watches all of them, and like he comments on them a lot, and it's actually kind of sad. But yeah.
I'm not. All right. I'm not gonna shout that out because Verity, that was too long of a family line. Your aunt's cousin's brother's neighbor, who's the mailman. It was too many things.
Neighbor.
Too many things.
I'm eating a cheeseburger.
Okay, someone do Hunter's job then if he's eating a cheeseburger. This is.
Get milk. I'll be back.
Okay. What?
Actually, can you get me some milk too?
Oh my gosh.
What is happening? This is not a break where we get snacks.
Do you know that chocolate milk has vitamin C supplements and vitamin D?
No one cares. All right. Bring it back. We're introducing her. We're moving on. This is the worst intro of all time. All right. So my guest today is a family navigator. What is a family navigator? We'll watch the rest of the video. What?
I said great question. I have no idea.
They navigate
Great.
families.
No, duh.
That's great. They navigate families. Also, all right. She's a family navigator, and she is here at Northside Middle School. And that's what Tea Time with Mr. D is all about. Figuring about people who are here in Northside and learning stuff about them. And so, without any more delay, because this is awful, I'd like to introduce Miss Mecklenburg. And I am joined here by Miss Mecklenburg. How's it going today? Or can I call you Lindsey? Is that fine?
Lindsey Mecklenburg is my name. It's going good today.
Great, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us for Tea Time with Mr. D. Actually, you are the one who said, "Hey, how can I be on it?" So we'll see if you regret it or not. So.
No, absolutely not. No regrets.
So yeah. So I have to start out with I have to start out, or else Sophia's going to yell at me. We ask every guest that's been in here the awkward question of how were you in middle school? What were you like in middle school? What did your teachers think of you? All that stuff. How was middle school for you?
Oh, if I'm being honest, I was pretty weird. I was a weirdo in middle school. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was a straight A student. I got really good grades. Always made honor roll. But I did not have a lot of friends, and I tried to make a lot of friends. So I would talk in class a lot, and I was pretty social even back then. So I would try to make friends with that. But I tried to get involved in, I think I was in like student council and like recycling club or something like that.
Recycling club, what did you do with that?
We recycled. But it was a good time. I'm glad to not be in middle school anymore, but
yeah,
I like to work in a middle school.
Is it fair to say it was an awkward time?
Yes. Oh yeah. Middle school is so awkward.
Yeah, I always tell my students that it was one of the worst times schooling wise for me, yet crazy, and came back and taught here. Same thing for you. So, so you said you were social and all that stuff. Like, were you getting in trouble for talking during that time? Or?
Oh, no.
Oh,
well,
no.
yeah, no. Like, it was like, I was easily redirected is what I would say. But I was known as a talker, like in class time to all the people, so.
Question I really, really want to ask, you know it's coming up, is you're our family navigator here at Northside, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. What is that?
Well, I just navigate things.
Navigate
No.
families, great.
That's what you think. You always call me the navigator. I like it.
I go into your office, I'm like, all right, navigate me.
Navigate me.
my family. So.
So my background is primarily in social work. I did my undergrad in social work, and I am currently doing my master's in social work right now, set to finish this summer. So pretty much all things social work. And so the program that I do is through City Connects, and in that program we kind of go through each student in terms of academics, social, emotional, behavioral, health, medical, family, and then we can assign referrals, resources, community things for them to try to bolster up their academic progress, participation in the community. And so I can do referrals for therapies, I can do referrals for tutoring and education, call home, talk to families. So navigating all things family, but really my heart is in social work, so that's where it's at.
So there's City Connects, and that's the large
Yep.
scope of things. And so, but then you also do things like you help plan for resources and stuff, like you do our food pantry and stuff like that. So how does that also run into there?
Yeah, so like my actual job is really focusing in on that data, collecting data, doing referrals, and then I have some wiggle room area where I can try to like enhance the school. And so that's where you see me kind of present, engaging families in different areas. I'm in the PTO as the Family Engagement Committee co-chair. I do run our food pantry here called the Big Idea event, in which we offer resources and food through Second Harvest.
Which, by the way, I know this because I've helped with this thing for a couple of years, but you've expanded it this year too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because it used to be, I mean, yes, people would come in and get free food, which who doesn't love free food? But you also have made it to where there's resources now, right? There's always like a theme, right?
Yes, we've started to do that with the themes. We've actually increased our quantities of families being served. When I first took it over, we were seeing 40, maybe 45 families being served at a time, and now we've consistently been serving between 70 and 80 families.
Wow.
So we've seen a good increase in that, and we also have invited some community partners based off each different theme. So one month was mental health, so we had our really awesome community partners of Meridian Health Services and also Centerstone come in. One of my favorite themes so far this year has been the apple theme, and we served caramel apples to our families, and we actually sold out. We were like licking the bowl clean enough caramel because we were all out of caramel. So trying to make that more fruitful for literally for the families. So yeah, I think that's been great. But I mean, there's anything that is really needed, finding tutoring to come into the school, doing stuff with Titan Closet, Christmas programming, you name it. And if it's a need, I'm going to try to find something to help with it.
That's great. Now, I think you came here, like, because this is your second year, right?
Yep.
I think you came here like a year or two too late, because how we used to have to do food pantry. Have you heard about it?
Was it like a drive-through?
Yes, it was a drive-through all months of the year. So we were outside giving away food as it
like
froze
they were
in our
driving
hand.
by and you were
They
just
were driving
throwing
by.
food into their car.
We would load it in. It was a whole load. They never got out of their car. We'd sign up on one side, and then we would load it into the trunk and all this stuff. And now it's grown into this whole. It's like a carnival. Like
Yeah,
in a good way. It truly
come
is like a
in,
carnival.
get a snack, enjoy it.
I don't know how I miss caramel apple day. but
Caramel appies.
Appies. That's what they're called now. That's what the kids say.
The
That's
caramel
what they
appies.
say. Yeah. With the social work stuff too, I mean, that gets to be a little bit more personal too. Like is that part of just the because you're collecting data, but also just getting to know the kids on a specific level?
Yeah, I like to be kind of like well-rounded. Like it's one thing to type a name and academics and all kinds of stuff into a system, but it's another thing to like know a kid really well. And so I really tried to kind of immerse myself in different areas, whether that's coming to PTO events, whether that's chatting with kids. I've learned how to dab in the lunchroom with my 6th graders. They've taught me that. They go on a lot of the field trips here at Northside. So I've done like the roller skating rink and Camp Adventure, and we did a Kings Island trip with the 8th graders last year, and that was really fun.
You said this is year 2. How did you find yourself here at Northside?
Yeah, was not at all in my path to end up in a school again. I always thought like when I left middle school, I was leaving middle school for like good.
Forever.
You know, I think that's what we all think at some point in our lives. So I graduated from Ball State University with my undergrad in social work, and that was in 2018. And I actually worked for the Department of Child Services for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And that's a pretty heavy job, you know, lots of stress, lots of time commitment and things like that. And so 4 years is a long time in DCS world. And so then I found myself kind of looking and seeing how could I step away from DCS but stay in the social work realm, and maybe just explore something else that's not maybe just strictly child welfare, but that still involves children. And so then I saw this opening for Family Navigator, and I've always kind of wanted to reintegrate into the school system because I know there's so many good people, there's so many benefits of it, being part of a community, and so I applied for the job, and it fell upon me.
Wow. I think it's such a great resource of that we're doing that of, you know, there's always so much, especially on the teaching side, you want to build relationships with the students, and you want to help them out any way you possibly can, but I think this is just another step of where we're able to meet them and provide for them both here and outside of here.
Absolutely,
so that's pretty awesome. I really want to get into this because this is something I've been excited for this interview because, to be honest, I think it's fair to say, I hope I don't offend you, but I don't think we know each other that well. But you're one of those people where I'm always like, oh, she seems cool. She seems like a cool person to hang out with. And one of the reasons is because I know that we have something in common, that is the love for Taylor Swift. You knew this was coming up. I'm a wannabe Swiftie. My wife is a Swiftie, but I'm a wannabe Swiftie because I know that's a big thing to accept. But this is your time to talk about Taylor Swift, and
I'm gonna
where
need
did
like
that
at
all
least
come from?
I need like 10 minutes on the clock,
10
like
hours?
at
Okay,
least
10
to just
minutes on the
even
clock.
like chip away at. No, I would say like if I had anything to say, I probably would say I hold my doctorate in Swiftyism. You know, like I it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. I consume myself in all things Taylor Swift. My family knows that. Yeah, let's back it up a little bit. So my love for Taylor Swift, I do want to talk about this as well. My love for Taylor Swift stems from 5th grade. I started liking Taylor Swift in the 5th grade. I was about 11.
And what album was around that time?
Debut.
Okay.
Yes, I was a wee small child. And so I was in 5th grade, and I was listening to Debut. It was so pretty. I remember the blue album and her hair, and our song was the big thing. Me and all the kids at lunchtime would sing, "Our song is the same screen."
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to sing on here, but
Oh, you just did. So
no, that was just talking. So, but what I did in the 5th grade was we had a talent show, and I chose to sing 2 songs by Taylor Swift in the talent show during her debut era, before anybody even knew who she was, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like, she had just released this, you know, it was big. So I sang Shoulda Said No, and I sang Our Song in a group trio. So that's where it started, and it just followed me all the way to adulthood. So middle school, listened to...
So there was no break.
No break.
You've been through every era.
album.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's few people that I actually know who claim to be Swifties, but that took a break at some point.
No,
So.
never. I mean, it followed me through middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I remember, like, literally screaming Fearless in the shower, like, with my hair brushed and my plaid pajama pants on, Junior Jewels, like it was deep. And so then when I went to high school, I was, like, super hype about Taylor Swift, and people kind of started to think she was annoying, and I stood by her. I was there for it, but Red had just come out when I was in high school, and that was my first time seeing Taylor Swift in concert. That was my first concert. I went to the Red tour back in, what was it, 2012, 2013?
Yeah, somewhere around. I was in high
And
school
so
then.
I saw her live in Indianapolis, and that was transformative for me.
Yeah.
And I think from there, my love just grew and grew and grew.
Yeah.
Just like the albums, the merch, like all the things. So in college, I was still listening to Taylor Swift. Reputation came out and I had just gotten my heart broken.
Oh,
And so Reputation,
wow.
I was a rep girl. I was
Yeah.
a rep girly. Reputation era was me. And so I actually was one of the few who scored tickets. That's when she started to get really big, and she had to go through like Ticketmaster to release her tickets. And so I got floor tickets to see Taylor Swift for Reputation.
Wow.
During that Reputation concert, she went from main stage to stage A to stage B. And in her transformation from stage A to stage B, she walked across and she almost dabbed it up. Like, she almost dabbed me up, honestly. And she touched my hand, and
boy.
I mean, like, I didn't want to wash it, but I did.
You haven't watched it since then.
Then COVID hit. I was wanting to go to the Lover Fest, honestly. Like, Lover had just came out.
Okay, we need to talk about that. I'm sorry to pause you on the Taylor Swift thing, but you said something that's been bothering me. So I'm a lover. I'm a lover girly. I've been told I can say.
He's a lover girly?
I am. I even one of the students made me one of the friendship bracelets that has Lover on it.
Yes.
That's my favorite album. And I was telling you that before, and you said that it probably would have been huge, but that's right around the time COVID happened, right? And so.
Well, so the Lover Fest was scheduled. It had to be canceled from COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And so, but like Cruel Summer was one of the top songs this year.
And I knew it back then, too.
2 years later. Like, that's insane. But yeah.
No,
Sorry,
I'm in
you're at Lover.
I'm in an agreement that like Lover was looked over because of COVID, and it was a shame, and I'm glad
Is
that
it looked over still?
No,
I was
it
gonna
was
say,
brought
it's-
to its
it's-
glory. It was brought to its glory.
It's brought to its rightful place.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yep, Reputation, Lover, then our lovely sister set of Folklore and Evermore, which brought us to Midnights, which is a great album. But then that gave us the Eras Tour.
Yeah.
And I am, again, one of the lucky few has been able to secure and go to the Lovers, or to the
Eras Tour.
You got me thinking about Lover now, but
I
yeah,
know.
to the Eras Tour. There should have been a Lover Tour.
Yeah.
To the Eras
Thank
Tour.
you. Thank you. Yes.
I'll acknowledge it. And so I went to the Eras Tour, and I was on the floor, and it was amazing. I made friendship bracelets, and who else to have given a friendship bracelet other than Mama Swift herself? Andrea Swift took one of my friendship bracelets.
Really? Oh my goodness.
She sure did. It was amazing. Because being on the floor, that's where the VIP tent is.
Yeah.
So, you know, right when the concert was about to start, I kept eyeballing that tent, and I was like, Andrea's going to come out there. Andrea is coming out. She starts to come out in her glory, and I just give her a bracelet. She says, thank you.
Goodness. I love it. That's great. I've got a few questions, and I've saved them for when we did this. So number one, with Lover, what is your take on, is it as good as Midnight? Is it better than Midnight?
Each era is a child to me.
Okay.
And I would say that though I have certain children that I like more than others, on certain days, my love for them remains equal. So I would say that I like Midnights, I like Lover. I can't choose one that's better than the other.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. I'll take the answer.
But they have different qualities.
Yeah.
They have different qualities because sometimes I'm not in a Midnights era. Sometimes I'm in a Lover era. Sometimes I'm in a Midnights 3 a.m. edition era.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
you have to think about that. Like there's different feels, different vibes about each album, and so it depends on how I'm feeling. But both of them are incredible work.
So you can't pick. Can you pick or can you not pick a favorite era of hers?
Your Reputation. I can pick
Reputation.
that. I can do that. Yeah.
But I think that's probably because of a personal thing.
Yes,
right?
it's
I
a
mean,
personal connection to it.
See, and that's why I think even for people who aren't fans of Taylor Swift, yes, this turned into a whole Taylor Swift video, and that's fine.
This whole segment
Yeah.
is on Taylor Swift
whole
now.
thing. But I think that's something that's really cool that even people who aren't fans of Taylor Swift can respect is like just in her personal life, like each era, I mean, each album represents a different thing that's going on, and you know, different person she was dating or just broke up with, or things that are happening in her life. And I think in turn, for the listener, different things were going on in each of our lives as each album came out, and so then we relate to that, and so I think it's really, really cool. I want to talk to you more about travel and also about concerts, because you're like a pro at getting tickets and stuff like that. But this is one of our favorite parts of the time where we get to send it back over to the control booth that has disappeared. Are you guys still there? Like, oh, okay,
We're
you are.
literally right here.
I'm sorry, I'm blind. I'm blind in here. That's where. That's where we're at.
Is changing your cameras.
Okay. All right. Whenever you want to come back. All right. Cool. But what we're going to do is we're going to send it to the control booth. If you guys have any questions for us in here, I'm sure, Hunter, you're dying to ask a Taylor Swift question.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, that took a turn.
Nothing but the.
I thought these were strictly Taylor Swift questions, but okay, that's fine. My favorite food. I guess it would depend on the day, but I really like foods from different places. I really like local food. I like ethnic food. Like yesterday, I had Thai Smile for lunch. Like I love Thai food, Indian food, Chinese food, American food. I'll eat any food. I'm a big foodie. I'll eat anything.
Yeah. You don't have a favorite though?
I don't think so. I mean,
I think mine would be sushi. But
I really do like sushi, but I feel like whenever somebody asks me what my favorite food is, I think about eating that food for the rest of my life, and I can't. Like when you say favorite food, I think like this is my only option. Like,
if you
could
were
I
on
eat
an
it
island and you could only eat this, and
that's what I think of. So I'm like, no, I don't want to eat like tikka masala every day for the rest of my life. Please no. But I would say like pasta is a big one. Like I would say pasta in general, like Alfredo, spaghetti, penne, like ziti, but like I mean like it doesn't matter. Olive Garden is a good safe place. Their Alfredo slaps.
Oh yeah, we love the garden. All right, what else do you guys have?
Okay, I have a question. What is your dream travel destination?
Ooh,
there we go.
Do you want to save that for travel, or can I just?
No,
you want me to jump
that,
in?
yeah.
So, my dream travel destination is Australia. I have always wanted to go to Australia since I was a little kid. I have a longing to see like a kangaroo in the outback and like swim in the Great Barrier Reef. And the funniest thing about this is that we'll probably reach it when we talk about travel, is that I'm scheduled to do that trip in summer of 2025.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah,
that's huge.
It's a big one. It's been in the works and the plans for about 2 years now.
That's exciting.
Yes.
I've always wanted to see the opera house.
Yep, I'm gonna go to Sydney. I'm gonna scuba, snorkel, snuba. It's like a hybrid of snorkeling and scubaing. I'm gonna
they only do it
snuba.
over there. Only those travel people know.
Yeah. I'm gonna snuba over in the Great Barrier Reef, so that'll be great. And then we're actually gonna go to New Zealand too. So.
Wow.
So, other than Taylor Swift, what other artists do you listen to?
Ooh, I listen to a lot. So one of my very favorites right now, and probably for like the last 5 years, has been Noah Kahan. He sings a lot about like mental health. He's kind of like folky, alternative in a way. I've seen him in concert like 4 times. He's one of my favorites. I've actually met him. He's pretty good. I listen to a lot of Ed Sheeran. I've seen him in concert in London. I don't know, Sophia and Verity remember.
I remember
that.
Like, I took the tube over and saw.
I was about to get tickets
Yeah.
like from a used thing, and then I didn't because I don't know.
I mean that was pretty cool seeing Ed Sheeran in London, like at the O2 was pretty cool. So I'll listen to anything, but I like country music sometimes. Like in the summer, we'll just crank it up, and so I've been to country concerts, and I went to Rascal Flatts. I've not been to a concert, but I do really like them. It's just not been an opportunity for me, but
they're my favorite.
Demi Lovato, I love her. Just saw her in August. So yeah, I love all things concert, music, people.
I think that's such a unique experience too, that you went and saw a concert not in your home country. Like so in Australia, are you gonna go see anything? Or how does it all work?
I haven't decided, you know. So that one was just I went to a Thomas Rhett concert in Canada. And so, like, that was the second time I've done that. And so,
Canada.
It was Canada. It was kind of, it was, I had to dabble in it first, and then I was like, I could do this. So then we went to London, and I was like, okay, let's see how this might work. So I feel pretty confident that I could do that easily in another country. I think it would just, it has to line up. So like I was lucky enough that Ed was touring in London at the exact time that my trip was already booked. So then I was like, let's see if there's any tickets. They were mostly sold out, and I just kept refreshing, and then I snagged them. It takes persistence.
Yeah.
Is what it takes.
Where's that all stemming from? Where's your love for travel come from?
My love for travel. So when I was a kid, I did not get to travel. Like I just the way that my family worked out. I think the only time I ever traveled, like K through high school, was like I think I went to Gatlinburg for like my senior year at one point and did like the Ripley's Believe It or Not aquarium, you know, the whole gambit there. I love that. And so then when I went to college, I was in the realm of social work and, busy all the time volunteering. And an opportunity came up when I was a freshman in college to go to Baltimore, D.C. area. And it was a service trip. So we did lots of volunteering, and we kind of volunteered at a Boys and Girls Club and with some projects in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area. And so then I loved that too. And so I was like, all right, I think this is what I like here. And so I was like, I'm going to book some more stuff. And if I like it this much, I'll just keep doing it. And so then I ended up, my sister lives out on the West Coast, and I've went to visit her a lot of times. And so that's opened up opportunities for me to go to San Francisco and Los Angeles. And I've been to Portland a bajillion times and Seattle a bajillion times. And so then going out there, my first plane ride was in college, and I was like, this is awesome. So I was by myself. Like, I think that there's some coolness of being able to travel by yourself. That's go on a solo trip is really cool. So when I flew out there by myself, I was like, okay, it gave me some confidence. I was like, I could do this all the time. And so then it just took off from there, like going to Florida, planning trips to Florida. I've been to Disney World. I've been to Niagara Falls. And I mean, just like whenever something comes up, I'm like, let's do it. And so one area that I was kind of like hesitant to was like international travel. I had done a handful of like the states, the Carolinas, and like Florida and like all the traditional things. And I was like, international travel would be pushing it, but like I'd be interested. And so then when I got this job, I was already planning to go on a cruise to the Bahamas. And so I had that was going to be my little like toe in the water, so to say. And so then Emily Rains, who was a Spanish teacher here last year, she's over at the high school now, had told me when I was telling her about how much I love to travel, she had told me about an upcoming trip to London. And I was like, sign me up. I want to go. That's awesome. Like, I've always wanted to go to London. And so then that's how London happened. But then now I've kind of, it's even opened more doors, because now I'm like, let me go everywhere. So I have a trip to, I had a trip to the Bahamas last year, and then I went to Canada in February, and then I went to London in March, and then I went to Mexico in October.
Oh my goodness.
We went on a cruise to Costa Maya and Cozumel, and then in March I'm going back to the Bahamas on a cruise. And then in October of next year, I'm going to the Dominican Republic and Turks and Caicos. And then the following year, I'm taking both my kids, and there's a big group trip with the school to the Mediterranean, so to Greece and Italy. And that's a 2-week trip, which I'm plugging. You guys, it's open. It's open for sign up. So there's lots of fundraising and things like that. I'm partnering with Isaac Durkoch over at the high school, and so we're getting people signed up for that. Both my kiddos are going. I think there's some kids here who are signed up, who went on the London trip and things like that. So I'm excited for that one. That's in March of 2025.
Yeah.
And then in July of 2025 is my Australia-New Zealand trip. So I kind of like to slate it out a little bit and break it up. And then, in between all that, I like to go do little things here and there. Michigan, I go up to Michigan all the time. Just I don't know, there's just like so much you can learn. I love the culture, I love the food, I love all the things. And so once you kind of step your toe in it, which I think is really great about the middle school programs and things like that, is like once you get to do it, that door is open, like
it gives them the opportunity. You're talking about how you didn't really travel that much, but I mean, these kids are getting a taste for the love of traveling and stuff earlier on. So
really,
that's,
and
that's
so
awesome.
Yeah, it awakens something for you, and then you're just like, all right, let's do it. So I see the kids who went with us to London last year walking around with their London sweatshirts, and every time I see it, I'm just like, it takes me right back to like walking in Soho, like going to Borough Market, Buckingham Palace, Stonehenge. Like, I'm like, it just brings me back to such a good place when I look back at the pictures and the memories and things like that.
Do you recommend as a teacher to go?
But yeah, I highly recommend for teachers to go. It's such an experience, not only to bond with your students, but to learn about them. Like, I know lots of things about the students based off of like.
Well, you basically live with them.
You live with them for a week in a hotel and with a tour guide, and you guys are like family at the end of it, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I can't recommend it enough. I wish more teachers would come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll consider it.
Come on with. I know, because Mr. Durkoch, he emailed you.
I know he did.
And you
that's
said
because we went to school together, but
you just pushed it along to me.
I knew that I wasn't going to take the ball and run with it, but I knew exactly who would, and you did. So, yeah. So I know how to delegate. We're good.
There you go.
So, to shift gears, there's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about, which, again, all these things are just fascinating. I love the fact of, like, you say you want to be well-rounded, but your life obviously is well-rounded between traveling and the music and stuff like that. And then this thing that I know is very close to you, and that is the fact that you've been a part of being a foster parent for some time now. How did you get into doing that, and what prompted you to do that?
Yeah, so I'm the young ripe age of 26. Like I'm not
You're younger than me.
I'm not
the
too
old
old,
person
you
here.
know, like you're older than me.
Yeah.
So you know, ever since I was like probably middle school, high school, I remember thinking like I want to help people. Like I've always known that, like whether that's in work, whether that's in my personal life, whether that's like through children or families or whatever. And so that naturally led me to social work, and I was like, social work is awesome, I love it. And then I would just like go home and I would think, man, I wish there was more I could do. Like I like working at DCS, I was like, I want to take these kids home. And I said, how can I take these kids home?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can take these kids home. So basically I was working for DCS, living in my own apartment, just kind of vibing, and I decided that I wanted to pursue getting my foster license. And it was pretty easy because I worked at DCS, so I knew like the right avenues to do so. And so when I was living in the apartment, one of the big things was like, you have to have your own house. And I was like, I'm 22. What? No, I can't buy a house. And so I think you can do it in an apartment, but the space and everything, I just was like, I want to figure this out. And so I started not only my foster classes, like the licensing process, but I also started the process of buying a home. And when I was 22. And so then I turned 23 in January, and it was kind of a long process. I was taking it a little bit slow just with work and everything. And so then I was licensed as a foster parent in 2020. And it was like kind of in tandem with the like COVID thing.
Yeah,
like
I
I bought my
that's
house in
weird.
March, and then like COVID hit. Like I bought my house in like March of 2020.
Wow.
And then COVID hit, and I was like, this is interesting. And then I got officially licensed in March of 2020 as a foster parent. And I took my first placement 6 days after I got licensed.
That's what I was wondering is, did they...
Yeah, so
They can't really stop that process with the COVID stuff. I mean, honestly, people probably need it even more.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. So it was quite interesting. My first placement was a 3-year-old little girl, and that was in 2020. And since 2020, I have not ever had an empty home.
Oh, really?
So I've always had a child in my home from 2020 until now. I've had different sibling sets. I've had different
ages, too.
different
right?
ages.
Yeah.
Yep, I've had as young as 6 weeks. I've had as old as 16, and so lots and lots of need there. And so I knew a lot of good foster parents working at DCS. I had a lot of support to pursue that, and so fostering has just always been on my heart. And so I'm a big advocate for that. I really wish there were more foster parents. I get calls all the time, even when I'm full capacity of like I have enough kids in my home, and they're still calling me like, "Hey, I have a sibling set here. Do you have like a cot? Like, what can you do?" And so there's not enough foster parents in the world, and so. I started that, and luckily right now I do have 2 kiddos who I'm actually in the process of adopting.
Right.
And so
Which is awesome, too.
that's one of the cool things about fostering. Not cool that they're in foster care,
Right.
that they have those needs, but it's really interesting that that there's a program that works, that when they do need an adoptive home or a forever home, those things are in place for them. And so I'm very fortunate that the kiddos that I have, that we're very well bonded, and I love them very, very much. So that's kind of, I've made my family. And so I even still see kiddos that I fostered for a long time. So my first placement, she was 3 when I got her. She's 7 now, and I still see her like every month. So
Oh, my goodness.
I kind of have like my own little family of children that I've fostered. They'll message me on Instagram and things like that, like teens I've had, or it's just it's such a need. And
How tough is it, though? You pour so much while they're in your care, and then they eventually are, or in many cases end up leaving you, or leaving the care for whatever it may be. I mean, it's got to be pretty tough sometimes, right? And
it is, yeah.
I mean, is that something you had to kind of prep yourself before even doing this? So
I was fortunate in the way that when I worked at DCS, I had a good eye of things of that. Like I saw families that got reunited. I saw families that took a really long time to, get things together, and then they ended up with family members. Or I seen families where the kids went into foster care and then got adopted. Or I saw families where the kids went into foster care, stayed a long time, and then went back home. And so there's just all sorts of different ways that things can happen. And so I had even some tough cases of my own when I was employed with DCS, where I saw kids reunify, and I saw the toll it took on the foster parents or things like that. And so I myself had to be very, very focused on like reunification. Like what I'm doing is not like, I'm not doing this to just take all the children and keep them forever. I'm doing this to help the child while they need it. And then if they need more than that, we'll address it when it comes. And so I actually went into foster care. I was not pre-adoptive. I had chosen I did not want to adopt, that I only wanted to foster. And kids rub you in certain ways. So then, your heartstrings pull, and you what you said would be one thing turns into another thing. And so I think it is very difficult when I've had kiddos go home. I still think about them often. My best advice for that is to maintain a good relationship with the family, whether you agree with what they need or not. I mean, at the end of the day, they need help, and there's a lot of extenuating circumstances. And so if you can support them and build them up, then you can be fortunate enough to still see the kids afterwards. And so that's what I do. My youngest one that was my very first, like I see her every couple weeks. She still spends the night with me. She still calls me mama, and her parents are supportive of that because they knew I supported them through the process. Even though it was really hard for me, they acknowledged how tough it was for me, and I acknowledged how tough it was for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's awesome too that you're going through the process that I know can sometimes be a long, or who knows how long, process of adopting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
As someone who was adopted, that's awesome though that you're doing that and creating a life for people like that. So that's at a young age too. That's the part that I can't see. You're making me feel bad.
You're older than me.
Yeah, you're making me feel bad because you're over there like I've bought a house. I've raised 15 families here in the community, and I travel everywhere, and so, but no, amazing stuff, like just amazing stuff that you're doing. So the final thing that we always ask in this, and I'll give you time to prep for this, but we always ask, if you have any advice for our students here at Northside. Many different people will be watching it, and people who may know you and people who may not know you, but what's advice you would have for someone going through middle school, as they go through the school and all of that?
What you're going through in middle school right now is not necessarily what your life will be. If I looked at the middle schooler I was, which was like the chatty, kind of like no friend, annoying kid that I was in middle school, all these other things, you can build in your favor. And so you take kind of what you have and you make it into what you want. And so that's exactly what I did. I didn't love everything that happened when I was a kid, but I turned it around. I found the people that I love and I care about. I made the choices. I stayed dedicated, and now I get to enjoy life as an adult because, I do the things that I want to do. I get to travel, I get to go to concerts, I get to create a family. I have a job that I really love and a community and a school that I care about. And so just know that the things that are happening or the things that you're going through right now might not necessarily be forever, and you are who is in charge of changing your future. And so take that with a grain of salt, because again, I'm just a 26-year-old whatever, but
you're a 26-year-old who's done amazing things already, and will continue to do amazing things. So
thank you.
Lindsey, Miss Mecklenburg, Lindsey, it's been a pleasure. This is the awkward handshake that I always have to do at the end of these, and you just made it work. Oh no, you're making me do this. Stop. A little dab up. Oh my goodness. I do want to make sure we do this before we go though. In the control booth there, how many of you did go on the London trip with Miss Mecklenburg?
Me and
her.
Sophia.
Did you guys have a good time on it?
Huh?
What?
Did you guys have a great time traveling there?
Yes, it was so much fun. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
It was amazing because all the tours were planned out for us, so we just had to walk, and we became a family, and it was really fun connecting, and I met so many new students, and now they're like my best friends at school, which is amazing because and we just got to explore so many things, and I learned so many things about England.
I mean, does that make you guys want to travel more going on?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much.
I'm pretty sure
this summer.
Definitely.
I'm so excited.
I forgot one of my travels.
Oh, you forgot one of your
I'm
travels?
going on another trip. Yeah, I'm going in June with Sophia and her whole family to Europe.
Hey, move to-
Yeah.
What is this
I
Europe
just
trip here?
it's Greece or no, it's not. It's London, Paris, and Rome. So it's Italy, France.
Where is this trip coming from? Is this just
It's
a Hess
another
family
school
trip?
tour. Yo, I mean, her whole family's going, but
Yeah.
My mom and my sister are going, so you'll see them.
yes, Verity, Rena, and her mom are going.
Oh boy.
So I mean, yeah, we have another trip that one's a little more imminent because it's in 2024.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, so Sophia gets to travel with me yet again,
There you go. Well, maybe I will join you on one of these travels at some point. I don't know.
Oh no.
perhaps.
We'll see. We'll see. We have to be nicer to each other or something because this was too much fun hanging out with you. So
Thank you.
And I could talk to you or learn, honestly, not talk to you, learn about Taylor Swift a whole lot
Yeah,
more.
I was gonna say, can we do like a second episode where it's just
Oh,
like
you're welcome back anytime.
I'll
Yes.
wear like my Taylor Swift cardigan
We'll do
and my
just a whole
Taylor Swift
Taylor
like
Swift thing.
concert merch. I'll bring you a friendship bracelet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, I can't wait
He's
for
so
it.
excited.
Yes. Hunter will be here too. Yeah. It'll be
Hunter
great.
will have 10 friendship bracelets.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
friendship bracelets, where are they?
I have two.
They're at the Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm going to the Taylor Swift concert next year too. I think you already knew that.
Yes, which I think there needs to be a law about the fact that the fact that you've
That
been
I'm going
to-
twice.
Yeah, you've
I'm
been
sorry.
Twice, so. All right, let me end this. This has been
Okay,
fun,
yeah.
fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Tea Time with Mr. D. We had a great time getting to know about Miss Mecklenburg, our family navigator. I feel navigated. I hope you do too. I had to make that joke at some point. I had to. All right, and I want to say thank you one more time to the crew. Go ahead and show the crew in there one more time, Sophia and her crew there. Go ahead and show the crew one more time. I want to thank them one more time for all the help they've had in this and bossing me around and, of course, being nothing but professional. And until next time, as I always say, this is the cringy part, as I always say, the future is very bright. See you guys next time.
Did you wink too?
I did.
Oh
Well,
no!
what's the thing? Sophia requests the link every time, so.